folks, I want to welcome y'all back to another collaboration. My mic keeps slipping, y'all. Yeah, another collaboration. Today I've got Garrett, aka the Karate Kid, aka um, what else do you go by, Mister
Rat influence.
the Rat Influence? Um,
The
yeah, man,
G-rated superstar.
the G-rated superstar. I don't think I have many nicknames.
Oh man,
You see,
yeah,
people. I had to make my own nickname. I say I make my own nickname. Like I was playing Warzone WWF one day, and it was like I'm Vince McMahon and I'm good old JR, and I was like I'm just gonna be good old C. So I just kept saying that, and it kind of caught on,
sure.
But most people don't know my references. Like people still think, what the hell is Planet C? Like what? So I just gave up. I gave up trying to make people figure it out. Garrett, how do you like the new room? It looks good.
My room.
Yeah,
I like it, man.
yeah.
I like it. I said this on one of my streams. Is like what I like about it is that it's like an enclosed room now, so it's like doors shut. That means I'm in here like kind of working, and I've got everything around me. Where before I was basically just kind of on the backside of my movie room, which was more like where I watch movies. So in front of me was like a couch, and there was just so much that could happen there. You know, people could come down and try to do stuff, and I was just kind of buried in the back. Where this feels more like I'm in an actual like studio. So it's a little more comfortable, I think, in here. It's a little bit more, creative in here because it's just I'm secluded with a bunch of toys and movies and pop culture stuff. So it's like the brain is always firing, and it's cool. It's just cool to kind of chill in here, and it's just kind of like a where everything can happen now.
Yeah, see, you've got a good flow. There's something weird about me where I felt like when I made this room, I had to completely separate horror from it. I mean, completely separate horror from it. I don't think that the only thing horror in here is some of my laser discs, right? But I don't know. For the most part, I don't think there's anything horror in here. Nothing on the walls that's horror. Nothing. But I don't know. But
So it depends on the vibe you're in for the day. You can go back and forth, right? You talk horror, you're in the other room. You talk non, you're in this room.
yeah, and some people are like, "Well, Christian, y'all are talking about Jaws today." Well, yeah. Here's the thing, folks. I think above anything else, Garrett, Jaws is a summer movie.
100% summer movie. Oh yeah, it's a classic. I mean, classic summer movie. 4th of July. It's one of the best, man. It really is. You can call it horror. You can call it a blockbuster. You can call it a summer movie. Whatever you want to call it. This is I think one of the greatest movies of all time, and it kind of fits in all those categories. And I don't know how it ever gets replicated, man.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that because people talk about horror remakes or movie remakes and blah blah blah. I think one of the biggest reasons Jaws hasn't been remade, forget Spielberg, maybe if he has the power to veto that, but I think this movie, like people could say, oh, it's sacrilege that Halloween got remade or this or that. I'm just going to be honest. Like, I think Jaws is just above those movies, if I'm being real. And I think Jaws is a movie. You tell me okay, Halloween, for instance, you could make improvements to that movie. I'm not saying it's not legendary. It doesn't deserve its flowers. It's made its mark, but there are things that could be better in almost any movie you look at. Tell me what could have been better in Jaws. I'll wait. Like I'm serious. Tell me what could have been better.
Dude, honestly, like I'm gonna say nothing, but there is some stuff that I'm kind of like, oh man, that would have been pretty sick. Like, have you seen some of these images of some of these scenes that they deleted where like they show Jaws come out of the water and eat the Kittner boy? You see it from a different angle. You see him actually come out and like engulf him, and they show like a top down angle, and you see Jaws coming at him while he's floating a thing. Like some of that stuff, and I'm like, holy shit! If we would have got that, like that would have just been insanity. Like it's so bonkers to me. Some of those other shots that I've seen online that I'm like, man, like it would have just took this thing to a next level. Like it was petrifying to look at some of those images.
You're right, but I also think that there are powers that work beyond our understanding because Spielberg almost ruined his own movie. he wanted to start the movie out showing the damn shark. I mean, full force. He wanted to show it. The jackass wanted to show the shark in the first part of the movie. I mean, that movie is a blueprint on a boiling pot of water, how it just, you start at a simmer and it gets worse and worse. That opening, when you just see the girl getting drugged, holy are you kidding me?
Yeah.
That ruined
She just passed away too, rest in peace. Like within the last week, I think, right?
She did. Yeah, I saw it. I saw that.
Yeah, I mean, Jaws cannot, and I think what it is, to be honest with you, is as cheesy and as hard as it was to work with Bruce or work with the shark, it made it. You couldn't. All these shark movies have come out since then. They're like, oh, just as scary as Jaws, and it's either using a real shark and they only have so much they can do with it with different camera angles, or they have a CGI shark, which, in my opinion, never is going to work ever. So I think that they that's what kind of makes this special too. Is it was just the shark itself, because I mean, even still, you look at, I don't know if you've ever been to Universal Studios. Yeah, you have. We've done a video on it. The Jaws ride, I mean, as cheesy as it was pretty damn close. And I think what it made, what it was the mechanical shark, I think, really helped.
You know what's funny? Screw a real shark. Imagine if you saw the mechanical shark in the water. Like, there's something about that that's terrifying to me.
For real, it really is. It's legit.
I don't know. I think I got a lot of cool stuff to show. You have a lot of cool stuff to show tonight, so we're gonna get right into it. But I wanted to say, I think, don't quote me, but when I was really little, my dad used to always, when we would go to Universal, there would be, it was blocked off. You couldn't touch it, but you can get close to it. It said Bruce from Jaws. But I think years later, I did some research, and it was the mechanical shark, and you could see the side that was the robot, or you could see the robot, the side. You could see the mechanics on one side, and you could see the shark body on the other side. Basically the hero side of the shark that the camera would see. I want to say that was actually from The Revenge. The body of the shark was from The Revenge that I was seeing.
Now, was it like a full size? Was this display piece kind of thing?
I think it was the mechanics from the movie. Like, it was because I want to say, if memory serves, it was either on some kind of tractor, like this thing that some of those tractors that have those long based wheels that have the conveyor belt that just those, what I'm talking about. It's one of those. It's like it was on some sort of tractor machine that would move underwater and keep the wheels would stay flat on the water. It was on some kind of device that would move. So I want to say I was seeing the actual shark from the movie, but I think when I was doing research, it was from The Revenge. It wasn't from the actual first movie. But
it's funny you bring that up. Some company just announced they're doing a display piece for like a collection. I don't know how big it is, but like I saw it went up for pre-order or something, and it's that image. It's a display piece you put on a shelf, and it's the shark, and then when you spin it around, it shows all the mechanics in it. So you can either put it one way where it's the shark displayed, or you flip it around and it's all the mechanics in there. It's probably the exact same thing you're talking about, but it's going to be some kind of display thing that you could put on a desk or a shelf. And as far as how big it is, I don't know, but I thought that was pretty cool because I have seen that kind. I don't know if it was from Universal, but that thing before.
Yeah. Oh, I have to check. You have to send me that so I can see it. I have a bunch of Jaws collectible stuff around the house. I have a Jaws bathroom. I have an original Revenge poster that is all the white has yellowed from, I guess it was from a smoker's house. So the white brim around it, it's so yellowed and it smells like cigarettes. It still smells like cigarettes. I bought it years and years ago, dirt cheap, but I have a Jaws bathroom. I got like a Jaws shower curtain. I've got a sailor, what do you call it? The wheel that you steer the ship with. I have like a thing above my shower. I've got some Jaws pictures. I got a picture of the three of them when they're eating supper, telling the stories. So I have a Jaws themed bathroom, which, I'm a big fan, man. But I like all these movies. I really do.
Yeah, I like them all as well. I think Jaws is another thing when it comes to collecting. For some reason, anything Jaws stays pretty, I would say, valuable or in demand. Like, You know, they've got NECA toys that sell out quickly, like Funko stuff that sells out pretty quickly.
Right.
Any kind of Mezco, any kind of Jaws, you know, memorabilia is pretty sought after. A lot of people just eat that stuff up, man.
Yeah, it's incredible. So we're gonna get going, guys. We're gonna go down memory lane, look at some Jaws releases, physical media stuff. I've got some vintage stuff. I know Garrett has some high end stuff. Garrett, I've got some peripherals. Do you have any peripherals? You know what I mean by peripherals? I mean, like, not movie stuff, but
I do. Why don't you go and or I'll go get it, bring it in, and then we'll chat about it because I forgot to. All right, I grabbed a couple things. I guess you'd call them physical media. You know, I have like figures and stuff. I didn't grab. I'm trying to see how close they are to me, but I have a couple figures, NECA figures, and Funko and stuff like that. But this is pretty cool. This is the Mondo score soundtrack there.
Yeah, I have that too. I love that artwork they did.
Yeah, that's a cool one.
Is that sealed?
Yeah, it's sealed still. I see. This is why I don't collect vinyl anymore because, dude, I was buying everything from like Waxwork and Mondo, and then I just never was using it. It was just sitting there. They're all unopened. I have so much stuff, so I'm like, you know what? I gotta X-nay on some of the vinyl because it just wasn't getting used at all.
So I got a few books I want to show real quick. This is probably, Garrett, the best, most informative Jaws book I've ever read in my life. So I'll save this book for last. This is cool. This was all gifts from a guy named Michael McCormick who did the score for The Shark is Still Working. It was a documentary about Jaws. He did the soundtrack for the documentary. He's a really cool guy. And I'm sure he'll see this video because he's a massive Jaws fan. So thank you again, Michael. He gave me this book called Jaws, Memories from Martha's Vineyard. It's a beast of a book. Oh, you got that too? Do you have a hardcover version or?
No, soft, but you want to hear something freaking crazy. So your story is, who gave that to you?
Michael McCormick. He did the soundtrack for the documentary The Shark is Still Working.
Okay, so I know one of the dudes who made this book. So it was done by Matt Taylor and a friend of mine who's one of the biggest Jaws collectors in the world, Jim Beller. And he actually gave me this book and he signed it. To Garrett, I hope that you enjoy the book. Jim Beller, he's a friend of mine. He's from my area. He actually used to be a member of my gym in Providence. So, when this came out, he brought it in because he knew how much of a fan of horror I was and signed it up for me. It's a really cool book, man. I mean, it's fantastic.
The behind the scene pictures will shock you because the shark is massive. Look at this, Garrett. Tell me you wouldn't. I bet you wouldn't go cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs for this. Look at this crew denim shirt he's wearing.
What? Oh yeah, with like the it's got a weird design, almost like a cartoon or something.
It's page 154, and then the other side shows Bruce getting lowered into the water, and he is gigantic.
Yeah, that's sick, dude.
But look at that shirt.
Yeah, I know what? I almost feel a company put that shirt out. Maybe Fright Rags or something. I remember someone doing that, I think. But this is just unreal. Like, you look at just on the next page, 155, and you're looking at that shark, and it's like, holy shit, man. What a work of art that thing was.
Yeah.
Unfreaking believable.
Look at that. Look at that.
I mean, yeah, dude. It's unreal, man. Like, then you flip the page and they show it in color. They show people working on it. Their heads are inside it. It's a freaky thing, man.
I don't care if it's a robot thing. I ain't sticking my damn head in that thing.
No. Unbelievable.
You know, lost your damn mind. Yeah, great book. Very, very cool. If you're a big Jaws fan, this is a home run. It retails, if you look on the back, it says US $59.95. Folks, I don't know if this is still available. I'm sure you can get it online, but it may not be an Amazon 2-day thing, which time is money. So I know that could be a deal breaker for some.
Right.
But check it out. Just look it up, folks. It may be up there, and you can get it for a fair price. You might even get it cheaper, but really cool. It's a big old coffee table book. You can't go wrong with that. I also have Jaws 2, the making of a Hollywood sequel. Jaws 2. Cool. Yeah, there's a UK book. Yeah, it's good. I read about half of this. I got caught up, but this was a good read. It sounds like it wasn't a pleasant experience for Roy Scheider. I don't think he wanted to do it, to be honest. I think he wanted to. I think he had to from what I remember, but I don't think he enjoyed himself. I don't think he got along with the director. It's a pretty honest read, and it was pretty big stressful movie for a lot of people to make. So there's that. But this book was incredible. I've never heard details like this before, Garrett. This is an older book, I believe. I believe this came out years ago. This is an anniversary edition of the book, but this book is really good. It's called The Jaws Log.
That's cool, man.
Yeah, Jaws Log is one of the best making ofs. It reads as smooth as crystal. It's really good. This is a 30th anniversary edition. This may be an old book. It may have came out years and years ago. But yeah, it's a really good read, and the information on here was great with Peter Benchley and everything. That's a famous photo of Spielberg inside the shark's mouth. So yeah, there's a lot of great literature on the movie, and there may be more. There may actually be more. Everybody, in case the folks don't know, Jaws was a book by Peter Benchley, and the book has a lot of extra stuff that was left out. I think Spielberg thought, we got to take out the affair that Brody's wife was going to have and things like that. I do wonder sometimes how that would have played out in the movie. But I think it was the right call, Garrett, because
yeah, I do too.
What difference would that have made when a shark is coming, when a 20-foot?
It would have been a side story that was kind of unnecessary. There's already so much going on, with the main characters on the boat and what they were up to and stuff. So yeah, I mean, and the people that were grieving, from the loss of the Kittner boy and the mayor and I just think there was just so much going on. It would have just been too much, I think, for it to follow.
How heavy of a scene was that when she slaps the piss out of Roy, and she caught that slap, Garrett? If you watch the film back, when she slaps him, it's not a quick release. She slaps and follows through.
Mm-hmm.
So she makes contact and she stays on him for a good 2 second. Like, what?
It's weird. That mother felt a little old to be that boy's mother, didn't she? That boy was was he 7?
You know,
she looked
what?
like she was almost 60 or something.
You want to know something though? Somebody sent me a picture of the Hardy Boys when they had what's his face is their manager.
Michael Hayes?
Michael Hayes.
Yeah.
There was a picture of Michael Hayes with the Hardy Boys. And then it was a picture of Matt Hardy a year ago. And it said Michael Hayes was the same age here as Matt Hardy is today. And it's crazy because Michael definitely aged a lot faster. And as Matt still looks good. If he dyed his hair, he could pass his probably late 30s. But it is interesting how back then it looks like people were aging a lot faster. Mm-hmm. Might have been all them cigarettes. Everybody was smoking like a chimney back then.
I know. I always say that too because I always feel like my son's age. I'm probably almost 10 years older than half the parents of the kids' age. So I'm like, I got to stay young. I got to look young. I got to feel young. So I'm trying to play catch up. I'm trying to reverse time over here.
Are you doing a good job, dude? I like your pump. Look at that pumpkin.
Dude, how cool is that, man? Somebody made that for me and sent it over.
It's incredible.
It's pretty cool, man. Yeah.
I can even. It's crazy because I can make out what it is from here. It's your
logo.
It's sensational work.
It's so cool. People have been so good. It's been unreal. When you start getting people that are really into your stuff and the support that you get a lot of support from people. It's just it's really cool to see, and it's not everybody's sending me stuff. I'm so cool. It's more wow, people actually
making an impact on somebody.
People give a shit about what we're talking about here, and it just makes you more when you see how much it actually means to somebody, it makes you more creative and you want to keep this going and almost make good products for the people that are interested. It's pretty cool because everything starts out as it was just something fun to kind of just meet up with people that are into the same stuff. And then all of a sudden now you're seeing wow, people really look forward to these shows and stuff. So it's pretty cool, man.
Absolutely. It's remarkable. Garrett, the people are ready. They're clamoring for some Jaws physical media.
Let's bang them out, man.
Where do you want to start? I mean, I've got some Laserdisc, which is kind of my specialty, but We can
Yeah.
start with you. We'll start with you.
I mean, I can just throw this out just because this was probably the first big thing that I had from Jaws, and this was the VHS tape, but this was like a double tape anniversary edition for the movie. So it was that thick box. It's got 2 tapes in there.
Is it a documentary?
So yeah, it's got a documentary in here as well, and then the making of Jaws and stuff like that. So that's what the second tape is.
How many miles did you put on that thing right there?
A lot, but you know what? Like it was one. Like I rented Jaws a lot. Like as a kid, I actually saw Jaws 2 first, which is crazy because I can still remember as clear as day. I was really getting into. There's a lot of gateway stuff that I was really starting to get into more horror-esque things, and my parents, were kind of a little bit more conservative when it came to like what they wanted me to watch and stuff like that. So as they started to see that I was getting interested in this stuff, I remember my mom was like, "Oh, let's introduce them to Jaws," and we went to the video store and they only had Jaws 2. Yeah. So she's like, "All right, let's just get this one." So that was my first introduction to Jaws, was Jaws 2, and then I had to go back and watch it. And I loved both of them so much that those are the 2 I rented quite a bit. So by the time I got this was like a little bit later. So at that point, I had already kind of like binged Jaws so much, and it was on TV a lot too when I was a kid. So I watched this, but at the same time, I think I've seen it so many times before I actually acquired this that it should have more miles on it than it does.
So do you like Jaws 2 as much as Jaws 1?
I do. Not anymore, but as a kid, I really, really did. I really liked it a lot. Now I like it. It's my second favorite, but I think it's not as good as the original, but I think it's a pretty good sequel for a movie that, has no business to have a sequel as good as it is. I mean, how can you touch the first one? But I actually think they did a good job. And I always remember the scene with a girl, like with a boat blows up and she's like basically pouring the gas on herself in the thing or whatever. That always stuck with me when I was a kid, when the girl was like water skiing and stuff. But yeah, I do. I have a fondness of Jaws 2.
All right. Well, let me start off with a bang, because I have a special widescreen Laserdisc of part 1, but I figured I'll show this. This is the Mac Daddy of Jaws. This is the limited signature edition from Universal. And it's quite a release. It's got THX audio. This is what's called a CAV disc, I think. There's 2 types. I might get this confused. There's CAV and COV. I'm either saying this right or I have it backwards. It doesn't really matter for your sake, but basically, there's 30-minute side Laserdisc and there's an hour side Laserdisc. 30-minute side is like the premium side. It's less compression, all that sort of. It's supposed to allow for better audio and video, but this release comes with obviously the movie and a nice documentary. The limited edition, the Laserdisc special features are great. There's a signature. Okay. CAV. There's only 10,000 of these made. This came out in 95. So this was actually right at the last gasp of Laserdisc when it was still a premium format. But I'll show you what's cool about it. So you take your top off, and obviously you've got, all of these. You got all your discs. So the movie is on 3 discs, and then there's the documentary on the other one. But what I liked about this when I got it, set this right there. So you take this off. It comes with this big pamphlet, which is really cool. Let me see if I can show that.
Dude, they loaded those Laserdiscs up, huh? With cool shit. Man.
Yeah, it was the bee's knees back then. So comes with this booklet. And then let's see. This is what's cool. If I can get this down. Okay, so you pull this felt off. This is random, but look how cool this is. It comes with the novel, a re-release of the novel from Peter Benchley, and the soundtrack CD.
That's sick, dude.
Yeah, and it's clean, dude. This soundtrack CD, I don't think has ever been messed with or played before. I've never played it. Yeah, it's clean as hell. Look at that that is an old school looking CD with the MCA logo on there.
So cool, man.
Yeah.
I love it. I actually, you know me, I have one laser disc in my collection. So this is cool when you showcase this stuff because I just never was able to collect them.
I want to get the original novel. I don't have the original novel. It's a cool
I don't
looking
either.
novel. This is obviously a modernized re-release
Sure.
of Jaws.
The original cover is really cool. Like
It's
that.
black and it's got the
Yeah.
sharp. Oh, dude, I want that. So I wish they would put a 4K out with the novel artwork on the front. That's what I wish.
I'm sure you could talk someone into making you a nice slip cover to go over your steelbook, whatever you have there for your edition of that image.
I've got a few contacts that are in the slipcover business.
I hear you. A little customization there.
Yeah, but ladies and gentlemen, that was the Jaws. This is at the time there was nothing better than this. This was it.
It's still hot, dude. That thing's
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah, Universal did a lot of cool stuff. I have a ET version of like that. So I have a few collections like that. So all right, you can go ahead. What do you got next?
I mean, my journey then goes to DVD. There was so many different DVDs that came out for Jaws. I may have had other ones and got rid of them through the years, but the first one I got was a collector's edition. It's an anniversary. I don't know. I think it was the 20. What year would this have been? Maybe the 25th year. Just says anniversary collector's edition. It's just kind of a plain DVD case.
That's interesting though. I have this right here that's similar. It's an anniversary edition, but yours has the THX audio.
So mine's widescreen red. What's yours on the bottom? What does it say?
Widescreen silver. So this may be a newer version than what you have. You may have an actual newer version.
Yeah, mine says DTS on the top.
Mine has a date of, well, it says 2000 on there, but I know I got this way later than that.
Yeah, mine says 2000 as well. What does the back of yours look like? Is it like this? Yeah, it's pretty much the same. So this must have came out at the same time. I don't know if they just decided if someone wanted the DTS versus the non.
I guess so.
I guess it's the only difference, right?
See, I've never seen that before. Wow. I feel like our artwork is different. Either our cameras are just shading it different because yours looks much brighter.
I think our cameras are probably shading it different. It feels this. It kind of is probably the same. So that's kind of that. And we both talked about this recently. Is then the other DVD I still have was the 30th anniversary, which is this bad boy where we have this as well, which is the side loader. It comes with the book and whatnot too. Yeah, and I think the same thing. We have different ones. Like you have the red one, and I have the silver one.
You have to admit, the red is pretty far.
Yeah, it is. So it's kind of cool because now I get the red here.
I got the full screen variant.
This full screen variant. But there was a lot of people, dude. I'm gonna tell you, when I first got DVDs, there was a lot of times I was sticking with full screen because I was like, I was kind of new to the game. I was like, why am I only getting half the screen here? What are these bars in the top? So I was like, I'm gonna get the full screen one so it fills up my TV. But you know, as I started to get a little bit more into what was going on, I was like, oh shit, I need to get widescreen stuff.
Yeah, this is nice. The 30th anniversary. Okay, so this is a 25th anniversary. That's why it's from 2000. This is 2005.
It's so funny that they just, with a movie like Jaws, every 5 years they were banging out a new reason to put it out.
Yeah, you know. Yeah, this was cool. I like this. The 30th anniversary is cool. I love collecting Jaws, man. That's one of those movies where I truly don't mind. You know. Oh, yeah. Let me show the rest of these real quick because I think the audience will get a kick out of this. So this was this was right at the birth of Laserdisc. Well, no, it's not. But this was before they did widescreen. So this is a 1987 release of Jaws. Now, Garrett, there's an old version of Jaws that if you look it up, it's gonna have like a lapel thing up here or something, and it says Disco Vision. So right when Laserdisc came out, the early Laserdiscs, they were Disco Vision discs. This is not that. This is a newer one. This is from 87, but it looks horrible. Horrible. It's just an old pan and scan is what this is. So basically like a cleaner version of like a VHS, but still abysmal to watch. It wouldn't be watchable by today's standards. But I do have a really good letterboxed Jaws 2, and this one
Ooh,
looks good. Look at this. This is
that is nice.
widescreen. Love that image. I actually think Jaws 2
Same.
has a much better poster. That
Love
shark
that
looks
poster.
fucking pissed. Dude,
It's
look
a
at that.
great image. I like that they kind of used the same image, but they positioned it a little bit different and added her down below. And yeah, I think that looks that I love that image.
It's incredible. Here's where the money is, though, Garrett. They used so there's a poster. I believe you might have it. There's a Jaws 2 poster where it's like red. It's like the red hue over the water, and it's like an alternate poster. I don't remember if it was an official poster, if it was like some special poster made a
Look
few
it
years
up.
later. Anyway, they kind of went with that style on the back, and you could see the fin right there in the waves, and they got, you know.
Oh
But yeah,
yeah.
this
I know
is
which poster you're talking
this
about.
is
Yep.
a good looking laser disc. This came out in '92, so in the by the early '90s, Laserdisc had stepped up. The technology was basically mastered. This is a very good way to watch this movie till this very day. It's clean, it's widescreen, director approved. It looks good, it sounds good. So yeah, if you watch this, you'd be like, oh, this really ain't that bad, man. This looks really good.
Mhm.
This is Jaws 3, not a super rare laser disc, but you don't see these two that much anymore. This one's wacky looking. The Jaws
I
logo,
like the image too. Like it's the 3D, like it's coming towards you kind of thing.
yeah, like how blocky the Jaws
Yeah.
is, you know.
I like the
Um,
gimmick, man.
I believe the new 4K artwork on um, the steelbook, you may see a little bit of this, but you're getting it from inside the shark's mouth, which it's cool that they're keeping with that notion, I guess.
Right,
Garrett,
because that's kind of what the first one is, yeah.
I gotta be honest with you though, Garrett. I'm a little torn on what to get, and let me explain. You know what? I'll
Mhm.
save it. I'll save it. I'll save it. We'll
Okay.
get there when we look at the 4K stuff. I'll explain. But anyway, that's Jaws 3, and here's the most gorgeous laser disc out of all of them. You ready for this?
Oh boy.
This thing
Oh
is
no.
the colors are vibrant. It's clean. It is gorgeous. Look at this. I'm the only person I've ever seen have this. Look at this Jaws event. Look how clean that is.
It's nice. I actually like the image of that with
It's
him
fucking
becoming the A.
horrifying. Look at that.
Yeah.
She really thinks she stands a chance? Woman, what are you doing? Now, Guy, the rumor is that this movie was a
Uh-oh.
gift to Lorraine, Gary. It was an anniversary gift or a birthday gift for her to be in a movie again. I think she wanted to star in a movie, something of that nature. What does
Mhm.
Vince McMahon say? And things of that nature. Didn't he always say that?
Yeah, it is her movie, it really is.
You got Michael Caine in here with his
Yep. Oh yeah.
and Lance Guest did a little Halloween too.
That's funny.
You know what though? His wife in this movie, she was a bitch. Like
I know you're a big fan of Revenge, right?
I do like Revenge a lot. I think it's an entertaining movie. I think people could lighten up a little bit on it because some of my friends that shit hard on this movie, I could easily say, dude, I've seen some of the movies you call underrated or like. I'm not calling anybody out specifically. It's multiple people. I know I like shit, and my point is, Jaws 4 is entertaining at the end of the day. There's
I
a
have a soft
shark in the
spot for it
Bahamas,
because
dude.
it was always on TV when I was a kid, so I have a soft spot for it. It was always one that for some reason, and I don't know if it was just when it came out, but I feel like I watched that on TV a lot.
So you
As a
remember
kid.
the ending where the shark stabs the boat and dies.
Was that a TV?
It was a TV. It was a TV ending.
Is that on any other versions? Like, is that on the Blu-ray? That the alternate ending or anything? Do you know?
Well, I'm pretty sure it is. I can look at one of my DVDs right now if you want me to. It doesn't say on here.
Yeah, that's the thing. I have it right here too, but it doesn't say on the back. So I mean, we can throw out some of the DVDs, I guess, for the other ones. And again, like I always liked like the Jaws stuff because I like that all the logos match, and like when they're on the shelf, everything looks really good on the spines because they all kind of, when you get the same Jaws logo with a little title, they always look good together on the shelf. And that's the one thing too I can appreciate when it comes to this movie is I just feel like everything looks nice. Like all the spines always kind of match. And that's kind of a gripe I have. We'll get down the road with the 4K stuff that I have. But
so you were see, dude, this was like my heyday, right when I was like in the throes of collecting physical media, was having all 4 of these.
Yeah, and I'll see even just holding them up how good they look just as a unit, right? Like it's
Yeah.
basically a box set without a box around it. It just
Yeah.
everything matches, all the coloring and stuff. It's
I mean,
cool.
so Jaws 2 doesn't look bad, right? It's probably one of the better of the 4. 3, here's the thing that, I noticed though. Okay, so let's take my first 2. I got the silver tops on those as widescreen, but on 3 and 4, like here's 3, they swapped it and it's
they're
blue.
blue. Yeah, mine too.
And then Revenge, you said you had yours, but you couldn't find it.
No, I have it.
Okay.
Which one is that one? Oh yeah, same. Okay.
Jaws of Revenge. Yeah, I put a lot of miles on this DVD. I loved watching Jaws 4 when I first heard about it because I didn't even know it existed for a long time. You have the Good Times.
I don't have that one, but I remember when that came out. Wow, that's amazing, dude. I need to get that's a relic. But that's one of those ones with the Good Times where it's like the most random. That looks like a documentary more than a movie.
This time it's personal.
Look at that. Look at that artwork, baby.
Let's see what the inside has. Oh, dude, look at them shark teeth.
Wow, they're not messing around. Snapper case.
I want to say the DVD had the alternate ending on it.
That's so interesting. I'm wondering if the blue, I don't see it on here either, but I'm wondering if it does because I really don't remember the difference in the 2 endings.
Oh, it's so much. It really is. So, folks, those were the DVDs for the movies. So the ending that they use theatrically, I scratched my head at it. They shove a yellow canister in his mouth and they sonic wave it till it blows up. But dude, when I think I know why they swapped it. When they stab Bruce at the end, he roars.
Oh yeah, I do remember that now.
He gets stabbed. The boat goes crashing down. But I mean, at that point, who gives a rat's ass if the shark roars? I mean, it's actually kind of crazy. Like, but here's the biggest issue, Garrett. They have never released the movie where you can watch it with the ending.
I see more things need to do that. I love when movies do that where they'll either have a version with the different ending. Like, when Halloween would come up with the TV cut, like we just got the Halloween 2 TV cut and the other one, like that's perfect. They need to do more stuff like that where it gives you 2 versions of the movie because if they're different, they're different. And, case in point, like one of my favorite comedies of all time, Fast Times at Ridgemont High had a very different television version. And for years as a collector, I've always wanted that version. I remember having to score one on a bootleg of the TV cut. And when Criterion finally came out with the Blu-ray and they had both versions on there, to me, I was like, holy shit, about freaking time, because there is a lot of differences of scenes that they took out and then they had to add new scenes in. And I just feel like a lot of those scenes they added in are ones that I always remember because of a kid growing up. Teen Wolf's the same way. They still have never released the TV cut, which has different scenes in it than the theatrical one does. So yeah, I wish more companies would do stuff like that.
Yeah. Or I mean, shit, if they let these boutique labels get a hold of these movies and put it together, maybe they don't want to use time and money to re-edit the movies or something, but it's just like, come on, man. It's a shame. I would love to watch Jaws 4 in a super high def. Now we could get lucky, Garrett, with these 4K announcements, but my money says we're not gonna get lucky.
I'll be honest. I mean, you're probably right, but I'm actually kind of. Am I shocked? I'm kind of shocked that they're coming out in 4K, but it's like, I guess they might as well just finish off the 4 because people always say to me too, like, "Oh, do you think Elm Street the sequels are going to be 4K?" And sometimes it's hard to say yes. But at the same time, I mean, if they're putting Jaws 3 and 4 out in 4K, why couldn't they put out Elm Street 4 in 4K?
That's a great question. There's less movies, probably.
And I think that's what helps Jaws is there's basically 4. So I mean, it is what it is. Like, okay, we could do the other 2. Where you look at something like Elm Street, and it's like, oh, we got to do all of these, you know?
So Garrett, I'm sure you have this. I'm gonna hold this up too. We could talk about this. I don't think people realize how that are younger, right? I don't think people realize how big of a deal this Blu-ray was. It was, people were talking about it when it got announced in 2012.
I have it, but not that version.
This was the version. You have an even nicer. You have the media book, right?
Yeah.
Yes. So this is just the. Gary, I forgot the cost, but Universal. This was a very, very expensive. I'd love to look at your version, but this is the slipcover version I got at Walmart. With just the cover that opens up, has a little bit of info, but Garrett has a very nice version. I don't remember seeing that back in the day. I'm assuming you either ordered that or found it.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Like, a lot of times these media books were Target exclusives. Now, it could have been, or it could have been something I got on Amazon, but it's basically the exact same version you have, except instead of a slipcover, this is just a book, and inside it's got the Blu-ray.
Let me make you big so people can see it a little bit better.
So you get the Blu-ray here, and then you got a lot of
Whoa! Let me see that disc.
Is that not the same? Really? Wow! I got a color picture on.
Wait, is that? Oh, did you get the pamphlet for Shark Week in yours?
Let's check it out. I don't think so. Oh, what is that? Maybe not.
Oh, see, I'd much rather have the pamphlet for Shark Week. No, for real though, that is something else.
Yeah, it's got some good stuff in here. It's got some good images. I'm just trying to see if there's anything lingering around in here. So here's that we were talking about before, the plans for the shark, and what's this? Oh! There it is. The Shark Week. It's got the digital code. Anybody want the digital code? And then you get the DVD on the other side too. So,
Garrett, when the movie was coming on Blu-ray, I saw somebody on Facebook share like a promotional video, and they talked about the restoration for it back then, and they said it cost them millions. They did it every frame. They digitally
I think
cleaned
is this the one that has that documentary of it where they show the guy?
They show it. Garrett, that was.
Yep, Jaws the Restoration is a thing where they show it them cleaning each
frame.
Yeah,
I don't think people realize how big, because this was when I watched this on Blu-ray. Garrett, this was the first time I watched a Blu-ray and I said, "Jesus Christ, this looks good." I just remember being floored by the picture quality for a Blu-ray before, because this was. I wonder if this is a 4K restoration type of thing. I don't know.
Right.
But it was a big deal. I just remember at Walmart, they had a whole giant section blocked off filled with just Jaws DVDs, because they had a special that they put out a new DVD as well. That was the new restoration on DVD. They had a huge section blocked off at Walmart just for Jaws. And it was the first time, Garrett, I ever was aware of a release day for a new movie where I was counting down the days, and I found out about this and I couldn't wait. This is the very first time I actually was like, okay, the release date is this date. I'm going to Walmart to get it. You know, it was a great memory for me, and I love this release. You know what's funny about this? I have another funny release from Universal where they did the, it's funny. Hey, look at that. You remember that? Look at that. You were talking about
the banners,
100th anniversary.
Yeah, there you go. There's the banners up there.
At least the Universal looks cooler though, because it reminds me of the theme park. So I'd rather that over. What was the other company that was doing that?
Who the hell was that?
Warner Bros.
Was it Warner Brothers?
Yeah, because Vacation.
Oh yeah, it was, because Exorcist had it. Yeah,
we were just like, God damn it. No one who gets Evil Dead Rise and says, "Dude, I got the 100th Warner Bros. Like, this is incredible."
Like it's going down in history as like a classic.
But anyway, what I was thinking of was, so I got a nice kind of collector's version of a Warner Brothers movie, and it's so funny. It's The Jerk, and it's not the 30th anniversary. They did the 29th anniversary, and it's so funny because the words are in like kid chalk writing.
That's
And I guess
so funny.
because he's a dumb character, Steve Martin, they did the 29th on purpose. But it's a really funny release. If people haven't seen The Jerk, that is probably one of the greatest comedies. Could not be made today, and it is effing hysterical. Oh my God, The Jerk is so funny. That's a great movie.
Well, now I'm kind of looking and I'm like, oh yeah, so what I was saying before, so the issue I was having is I couldn't find my Jaws 2 Blu-ray. I don't know what the heck I did. I could have sold it. I could have traded it in. I don't think I have it anymore unless I just couldn't find it. It towed it away.
Talking about these bad boys?
Yeah, I don't know what I did with my Jaws 2. I've only got these two, and obviously the only reason I still had these two was because they hadn't hit 4K yet. So I did upgrade my Blu-ray to 4K. So I don't know what I did with my Jaws 2. It could be toted. It could be sold. I don't know. But yeah, these two, like you said, are coming to 4K. So I will be upgrading. But I've got to move fast because I guess that there's a couple exclusive steelbooks, and my 4Ks are steelbooks. I have to get steelbooks to match them. Like, I have to do it.
Just for the folks at home, there's the Jaws 2. They did a great job on these Blu-rays, I think. Now, they did not release the multi-pack on the initial release of these. These came way before the multi-pack. This has deleted scenes, the making of Jaws 2, a portrait by Keith Gordon in here. John Williams, the music of Jaws 2, storyboards, that sort of thing. Good looking Blu-ray. Now, Garrett, here's the funny thing. I had to go to a couple Walmarts to find these. And Jaws the Revenge was a difficult Blu-ray to find on the shelf. It took me a little while to find the Revenge. I don't know what was up with it, but yeah, I finally found it. We went to 3 Walmarts one day because Sydney's a fan too of Jaws. I think everybody is somewhat of a fan, but yeah, when they announced the sequels on Blu-ray, I was happy. I like, these look good together. This was
like look at the spines, like all the spines match up, and even Jaws 3, you got it in 3D is an alternate version for this too, which was kind of cool. But I'm going to show you something.
You're right.
Interesting is check this out though. Okay,
so I'm glad you look. So here's the thing, Garrett. I filmed earlier tonight. I filmed a video about this movie, and I wanted to wait because I knew you had the slip and everything. I filmed a video about Severin wants you to forget about this title sort of thing. Just kind of telling the story. Tell the people how quick and fast that went away.
All right, so this was released.
Let them see that. Let them see that slip again.
So I did a video as well talking about Severin's. It was basically they used to have these secret slip covers.
Oh, it's wrapped. Garrett, you can pay off your house with
that. So they had these things called like I'm trying to think of the word I use. There's actual word they used to use when they would release them. So basically they would release secret slipcovers. So when they said, "Oh, we're doing a limited secret slipcover for this edition," they would blur it out on the site so you didn't know what it was, because they knew that they weren't really official. Oh yeah, unofficial slipcovers. So they did them for a couple different movies. They did like Evil Dead 4. I have them all right here, actually. There's a whole
Evil Dead. They did Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3.
Yeah, Maniac 2, Evil Dead 5, Texas Chainsaw 3, Terminator 2.
How about that Maniac 2?
It's a great one. Great one.
Good movie. I like the movie as well.
Oh, I did too. Yeah, so this was the one where they released Cruel Jaws, and I mean, they made the Jaws logo, like the old stuff, even the back, the spine, that it matched up with all these like perfectly. It was white with the red Cruel Jaws, and this thing got sold out pretty quick, and then this thing got taken down even quicker. So
without a word, it was gone.
yeah, I think it got them a little bit of hot water. It's one of those franchises you don't mess around with. You don't mess with it. Like Universal will have that shit pulled. And to be honest, I don't know the full story. We talk about it on that video we did with Uncle Bill as much as we knew in the backstory. But I think what happened was they got themselves in a little bit of hot water with Universal, and I think they had to pay a little money to them.
Well, the film has, if memory serves, has some images from Jaws.
Mm-hmm.
So that's already a big no-no. The film was released back in the day in Italy.
Mm-hmm.
And the rumor has it Vinegar Syndrome might have helped them out in some sort of way, or they just could not afford to license Drop Dead Fred at the time because magically, all of a sudden, Drop Dead Fred. I like to think Vinegar Syndrome didn't necessarily help them out. Maybe they did. I don't know.
Like a little barter system of some kind.
Either they had to forfeit the right to Drop Dead Fred, and then Vinegar Syndrome picked it up, or they owed somebody. Something happened. They've never publicly talked about it, but Severin acts like it never happened. The release never ever happened.
There was a lot of weird stuff that happened around that time. Like basically, as soon as all this kind of was going down, they released that. Do you remember that they did a big box set? It was for what kind of horror was it? It's like a oh my god, it's on the tip of my tongue. They released a huge box set, and it was for a bunch of this kind of horror. What the word I'm thinking of? I'm not really into that kind of horror, but it's like folk horror, like a big folk horror box set, I guess.
Folk, yeah. What did something happen?
Yeah, do you remember that? Well, what happened was it was like as soon as all this kind of went down, they released like this big statement saying we're putting out this folk horror set. They might have had like a default image, and it was basically like pay now, and then we're gonna get it to you within like 6 months. So it almost seemed like they were probably like, shit, we need money quick. So let's like put up this crazy pre-order for these boxes that were like a couple $100s a piece. I don't know if that's the case. It just seemed like it was really rushed, and they were basically like, pay now and you'll get it later. And it was like when all this was kind of going on. And like you said, Drop Dead Fred was actually a pre-order on Severin's site because I pre-ordered it. Then that pre-order got canceled. And then all of a sudden that got taken off the site as well. And then all of a sudden, a couple months later, Vinegar Syndrome announced it. So that was a whole wild transition as well with them.
I think they probably had to forfeit it because they couldn't afford to license it at the time. You know, I'm assuming Severin is a smaller operation behind the scenes. But Garrett, here's the thing, in my opinion. I think Drop Dead Fred would have taken Severin to a new plateau. I think it would have opened their doors a little bit. I think people would have had a different notion of Severin when they thought about the company. That would have been a title for that brand to say, okay, Severin's becoming a player. That's a cult title. But them losing that, I think, was really bad for the company. I'm not saying that I don't like Severin. I think they did as good of a job as anybody for Cemetery Man, the sect, the cult, the church. But when I think Severin, I think Italian horror, low budget horror. Drop Dead Fred would have. I really think, Garrett, that could have been that people would have. That could have opened a lot of doors. Potentially, people would have been like, "Oh shit!" But them losing that, I think, was the not their downfall, but they're going to be looked at as not a top dog.
It is interesting because it seemed like they were opening their doors to things like that outside of horror, like Drop Dead Fred. Because I'm looking at my collection right now, and there's one movie that sticks out like a sore thumb. There is Overboard. I bought that specifically because I'm like, I like the movie, but I'm like, why is Severin releasing Overboard? This is so random. Like with like Goldie Hawn in it, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
it's like what a random.
It would have made sense now though if they would have, because Drop Dead Fred would have
exactly,
and then they would have been like, oh, so they don't just buy horror. Why aren't we going after? Let's go after Captain Ron. Let's try to maybe we could be the Kurt Russell people that are not the horror stuff. And now I wonder if they're afraid to branch out. I wonder.
Yeah, I think something really bad happened with the Jaws thing because again, I go back to even stuff with us. There was one day I did a stream with Dead Pit, and we were like, I put on like a quick Hulk Hogan clip, and he's like, so the brother, it was an interview, dude. Like within seconds after I uploaded that, I get a ding saying WWE like filed like a claim, and I'm like, geez, like a lot of these companies don't mess around, and I don't think you try to mess with Jaws, and I think there's going to be big problems. Universal is not letting anybody touch anything Jaws-esque without their okaying, I'm sure. So I think that really, and I think what really put it over the top. I mean, dude, look at this image. This is like direct fucking
same logo.
Look at the shark.
Well, Garrett, here's the thing, Garrett. What do you think got him in more trouble, releasing the movie or that slipcover?
Probably the slipcover.
I'm serious, because that image on that slip, as well as the Blu-ray, which I didn't grab my Blu-ray because I knew you had the slip version. I didn't know it was in shrink wrap. Otherwise, I would have brought mine. But my point is, it's basically the same thing.
All right. Well, here I'll do you a solid. Hold on.
I just want people to see what the actual. Oh, do you have a bootleg or you have a?
No, I have another one.
Okay, see, the shark is different, but the Cruel Jaws is still the logo. But my point is, I think that slipcover was detrimental to the operation.
100%, because dude, like look at this, like this is basically, they basically took this image of this shark and just like put him like this, like like that's that Photoshop right
so
there.
That's another thing, Garrett. I really think the slipcover could have been the icing on the cake, so to speak.
100%.
They might have got the license for Jaws, Cruel Jaws, in some way. I don't know how that would work, but it was an interesting time.
Scream Factory actually announced Cruel Jaws a couple years ago, and it got pulled, and they got canceled it. Yeah, so I don't know if there's an issue with Cruel Jaws, but they announced it. It was actually up for pre-order. It was a double pack, and then all of a sudden they said, "Oh, we can't release it. Here's the double pack, but instead of Cruel Jaws, you're getting this now." So they switched it, and then all of a sudden, a couple of years later, is when they announced Cruel Jaws from Severin. I'm like, "Oh, that's interesting," because I know Scream Factory couldn't do it. So again, I don't know the innards of all that stuff, but it is a really interesting story, and this slipcover really does just boggle my mind, because this is like literally a sequel to Jaws, because the image, the font, I mean, and the fact that they tried to hide it too, maybe that only made matters worse.
Yeah, Garrett,
because
I'm assuming the audience is just going to hear this as well. I'm going to take some segments of what you're saying and showing here. I'm going to put it into this other video I'm doing. I'll make sure they can see your name right there, Born to Be Red. I'm assuming you don't care.
It's going.
But I think it's a fascinating topic. But Garrett, before we move on, because I know you have some premium editions, we're going to wrap this up. I think Severin could get back into the adjacent, not necessarily comedy, but just like cult movies, which I think is pretty much adjacent to horror in a way, because it's a similar kind of fan bases. They're rabid for this stuff. I think if Severin could somehow get freaked, that could be their Drop Dead Fred. You know what I'm saying? I think that could be it. I hope it happens. I think Severin I like Severin. I really do. I ordered that movie you were showing the other night, Wild Beasts, from them.
Oh yeah. Yep.
So they've got a good catalog, It just is it's an interesting tale, ladies and gentlemen. So Cruel Jaws, aka Jaws 5, with the Hulk. Dude, that movie is so shitty. There's a moment in Cruel Jaws where it's three of the guys, and Hulk Hogan's one of them. And it's a shot where they were at the end of a pier, and they're going to walk towards the camera and talk. The scene doesn't start where they're just starting to walk. The scene shows them, and they're standing still. And it's like somebody gives them, like, all right, action. And then they start walking. It is insane how bad that movie is. I love it, though.
Do you know what is funny too? Because everybody always says like, "Oh, it's got that fake Hulk Hogan in it," and it's always just like it's almost just like that's what people were reminded of. But when they released this, not only did you get, I don't have it actually, but not only did you get this, but there was also a bundle that got you a red bandana that said "Cruel Jaws" in yellow, but in the Hogan letters.
Oh my God! I should have pre-ordered all that.
Yeah, and then you also get a sticker of the Hogan guy leg dropping the shark, and it said "Cruel Jaws." So like they really took that whole gimmick and like they ran with it. Yeah, brother. For sure. So it's kind of funny, brother.
All right, Garrett, really quick, because you have some nice editions just for the audience. I'm assuming.
Yeah, I just got the two 4Ks. I got the Steelbook 4K of Jaws. Which again, I like it, but my only issue is it's beautiful.
You didn't get this version?
Is that a steelbook or no?
No, it's the
Oh, it's the lenticular one.
it's the lenticular side
No.
loader.
Yeah, no, I only got this one.
I thought you would have liked that version.
I like it, but you know what? I'm funny with steelbooks. I think sometimes I like
I'm gonna
try
tell
to
you
get them
why
all.
I'm gonna tell you why I don't love that steelbook now.
I'm going to tell you why I don't love that steelbook either. So here's Jaws 2
You have
on
Jaws
steel.
2. Now you
Yep.
got the nice box version.
No, I did. I sold it. This is just the regular steelbook now.
Okay.
So I did get the nice box version with the lenticular, and this was inside, but I sold that. So here's my issue now is because all the other ones are going to come just like this, but the spines are off, right? So
I know what I'm doing, Garrett. I have a solution because you guys have made me paranoid about making sure all my shit looks good together.
I'm an aesthetic collector. It's actually kind of pathetic,
but you know what? Aesthetic is important, and it's not a problem to admit that. I think it's okay. I decided what I think I'm going to do, Garrett, because I'm not going to overspend on this stuff anymore. I like this version a lot. I like these steel books. I may just get the 2, 3, and 4 multi-pack to put these together because I'm going to be annoyed to just have this and then 3 steel books. I don't know why. That annoys me more than... That just annoys me more.
Well,
so
it annoys me too because I actually file my steelbooks together, so like they would be separate. So like that's why it would annoy me because I would have the steelbooks in the steelbook section, and then I had Jaws by itself. So that's why it was important for me to have the steelbooks. But I do kind of wish that we got one that matched these.
Yeah, I agree, but because of that, Garrett, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get the multi-pack because it looks like it's also a side loader lenticular cover, and it's gonna be Jaws 2, 3, and 4, and I'm gonna have both of these. And as much as I like these steel books,
are you gonna sell that off?
I might sell it off,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna keep this obviously, and I'm gonna get the multi-pack of 2, 3, and 4 because I think that's fine. I really.
Well, I'm going to tell you right now, I don't know for a fact, but if that Jaws 2 steelbook is out of print and those Jaws 3 and 4s have a steelbook option, you could probably definitely get your money back, if not more, for that Jaws 2 because you might be able to get that and pay for your new one because
people. I really like. Yeah, you're right. I really like this. You know, I say the Jaws 2, 3, and 4 is a lenticular. I mean, I have an image of it right here. Now multi-packs, Garrett, I don't know how you feel about multi-packs. People don't love multi-packs. That may not be a side loader. I'm not sure, but here's what it is, folks. It is Jaws 2, 3, and 4 together. Now, do you have the multi-pack Blu-ray version of this?
No.
I wonder if that's the same thing. Now, the steelbooks are nice. It's just, I don't know. It's just the same, right? It's just the same that if I had your steelbook, I'd be in the same. I'd feel like I'm in the same predicament if I had your steelbook.
But I mean, do you store your things differently? Like if you don't store your steelbooks away from your other stuff, then you could probably get away with. I was going to say because you actually do. Your spine at least matches that spine as far as the coloring and whatnot.
Yeah, I do actually store them differently, and it's not real. I know there's people listening that are like, "Oh, it's not that big a deal," but they're
like these freaking nerds.
But you know, but you know what, Garrett? To other people, it is a big deal. You know,
yeah. Same way people would be like, "Oh, well, this one doesn't have a slip, so I have to do it this way," and this one, you know.
I think I'm just gonna get the multi-pack, Garrett. I'm gonna call it right there. I think that's what I'm gonna do. You know, and I may actually sell Jaws 2. Because pretend I had your steelbook, I'd still feel the same way.
Because that's why I feel like the spines are all.
I do. I tell you what, though, I do like that steelbook. So I didn't mean to say I didn't like it. I was going to say I tell you why I don't like it now because it's like you said. It's a good looking steel. I
wish it was the poster art. To be honest, like I do wish it was the original art, like the poster.
Yeah, but it's a nice blue. You know, it's a nice soft blue on the front. It's very much looks like just a standard, you know, artwork thing that would be at Target. I think it was at Target, actually.
Probably was.
that was a budget 4K for a while too. But yeah, when I saw this, I just thought this was gorgeous, and I was like, wow, this is for the standard 4K release in that box, that slip, and it actually comes, Garrett, it comes with a goddamn book.
Yeah, that is cool.
It comes with a book. So yeah, I think I'm gonna get the multi-pack. I think I'm gonna do that, and I'm gonna sell my Part 2 Steelbook. I think that's what I'm gonna do.
You'll have DMs right now after this video drops about that Steelbook.
That's fine, because I have these. If I want to have my, I've got these, and I want to see the movies in high definition above anything else. So I think that's what I'm going to do, and I think I'll actually save some money that way, and I'll be happy. Look, Garrett, I have enough editions of these movies. I can do something that way. I can get a multi-pack and be fine with that, So don't you have what was that release you showed?
Yeah, I have this one. It's the what do they call this? Now, the film vault.
Okay, listen. What do we have to do to get you to just open that?
I think I'm going to sell it. That's why. I don't think I'm going to keep it.
I think you should keep it. Look at it.
It's got all this cool shit in there.
It's got a board. It comes with a board game.
It's got poster. Let me tell you what it's got. It's got posters, magnets, art cards, character cards, beach signs, artwork, like the little Jaws drawing that the kid did. I mean, it's nice. It's nice as hell.
What are you going to do when they announce a really nice overseas complete collection box set?
I don't know. I guess I'd have to look at it. Like, I mean, I really dig these like big bulky things, but at the same time, like I don't know what to do with it. Like, I mean, I'm lucky I have some space on the top shelf, because this ain't fitting on a regular shelf. I'll tell you that much. So, a lot of it with me right now is just space. Like, I've got to be conservative with the space, because I don't have a lot left. So I have to either take things away and store them away and add some new stuff. But that's why I'm not sure I'm going to do this with this yet.
Why not get the multi-pack like me, dude? Let's be economy collectors.
I got to get the steals to match.
Come on, dude. Let's be economy collectors. No, they are nice. I get it. They are nice steals. I just I don't know. My gut's telling me to go for the collection. Yeah, I'm gonna see if I can get money for that. I may be able to. I'm not sure.
I mean, if it's sold out, if that's gone, you can probably pay for your multi-pack with what you'd get for that. No question.
Yeah, but this is gorgeous. I'm not getting rid of this. I love it to death. I love that. This was fun, man.
I love Jaws, man. I'll talk about it.
Do you like Jaws the Revenge over Jaws 3?
I feel like it fits more with the story. I feel like it kind of like that would make more sense after part 2. Part 3 to me just seems like like kind of like the like the Halloween 3 of Halloweens. Like it doesn't feel the same. The shark is so CGI. It's kind of wonky looking. I do like the aspect of it taking place in a theme park. I think that's fantastic. Yeah, I love that. But I think the shark just looks really shit.
What were they thinking? Like, why would SeaWorld agree? Hey, yeah, you can use our theme park in this movie. What happens in the movie? Well, a shark breaks into your theme park and kills people. Perfect. Sign us up. We'd love the publicity.
I think there was a story on it. I don't know if it's on one of the docs, but I almost feel like they did explain why they did that, but I don't remember offhand why.
They were around back then, right? It's not like the movie created the idea of a SeaWorld.
What year did it come out?
80. It had to be early 80s because it was the 3D craze. So probably 82. I can tell you right now. Let me look at my laser disc. $1982 was the movie. 82, 83. Definitely in the early. It's one of those years. 82 or 83.
Yeah, I'm not sure when SeaWorld started.
So I like Jaws 3. I like Dennis Quaid.
Mm.
Yeah,
I think it's fun. I mean, it's hokey, but I mean, like I said, it's entertaining for sure.
Yeah, and Leah Thompson's hot.
Oh yeah, 100%.
She's the real deal. All right, ladies and gentlemen, for sale, taking offers. Let's negotiate. I'm trading for a bust. I want a Jason Takes Manhattan bust for this Jaws too.
You gotta get it back.
No, I still have too many. I still have a couple in the closet.
Oh shit!
All right, this was awesome, Garrett. Jaws, ladies and gentlemen. I'm serious. I have
Dude,
too many.
I have like 0 busts, and you're like, yeah, I got a bunch in the closet, just like sitting.
I went hardcore collecting that shit, dude.
I wish I had
Hardcore.
more. I am waiting for like there's one that I really want some guys doing, and he's doing a bunch next year that I'm like, he's got the Michael Lost Boys bust. It's freaking awesome, man. And I contacted him, and he's only made one, and he's like, yeah, I'm gonna do a small run at the end of the year, and I'm like, all right, man, I'll be in. So
if I could give you I can give you a small piece of advice, not that you asked, but I know you'll listen. Just get something very nice. Don't go cheap. And I'm for the audience as well. You start out getting trick or treat masks. It's fun, and then eventually you say, "What if I got something a little bit nicer?" Just spend the money, get something really nice to where every time you walk in the room, you're like, "Wow." It took me a long time to learn that. Now I'm very proud.
I agree with you. I'm very similar to that because I feel the same way. There was a lot of times like with posters or whatever, I just did things to kind of fill a void because that's all I could get at the time. But then when I got the real deal, I was like, oh man, I should have saved my money and waited. But I do I look down below me right now and I have 3 Michael Myers Trick or Treat Studios masks that I'm kind of like I could do with or without them, to be honest with you.
They're fine. I'm not disparaging them. They're very affordable. I understand that, but if just listen to me, ladies and gentlemen, instead of getting 3 Trick or Treat Studios props this year, get one really nice thing, and it's like, whoa! Every time you walk into the room, you're taken aback by it. So
I'll send you a picture of the Michael one, and you tell me what you think. It looks freaking amazing. It looks just like him.
I can't imagine anybody would make something like that would be very cheap. So I'm gonna assume it's very nice looking. So absolutely, man. Garrett, thank you again. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, Jaws 3 and 4 coming out on 4K UHD this summer. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Tell me your favorite Jaws movies, moments, memories, all that good stuff. Did you go ride the ride at Universal?
Hell yeah.
You know, all that sort of stuff. Garrett, anything you want to promote real quick before we set sail? No pun intended.
Yeah, I mean, you and I have been collabing a lot on this kind of stuff. So if you like it and you want kind of another side to more episodes, basically, just pop over to my channel at Born to Be Rad, and we've got more episodes of similar context with you and I kind of tag teaming some cool topics. So if you like these episodes, come check out my channel to get more of them.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. Thank y'all for watching. God bless you. And we'll see you next time. Huge, giant thank you to all of my Patreon supporters. Without you guys, this would not be possible. To get behind-the-scenes photos, videos, music, private live streams, and much more, you can subscribe to my Patreon for as little as $1 a month. Thank you to my patrons.